Hello, Steve Mills here, and it's great to be on Facebook and YouTube Live. It's good to be here, and I'm here to share with you some more ideas. And specifically today, I wanted to share with you what I call my top 7 things that I think I've learned in it's virtually 25 years, a quarter of a century. I've been helping small businesses to be more successful. And do you know what? In that time, you don't have to be like, the world's number 1 genius to notice that there are only, I don't know, perhaps 20 or 30 things that people get wrong in business. And here's my interpretation of the top 7. Actually, on the 1st of May 2020, not sure when you're going to be reading this, but I'm recording it in February, and on the 21st of May 2020 will be the day that I celebrate 25 years. And I really must be doing something right, I believe. That if you're going to stick around for that length of time, then you must have something right. And I've got some notes down here, so if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm just going to make sure I hit all 7 of them. So the first one, and I think it's number 1 probably in every sense of the word, and that is knowing your numbers. That's the one thing I've learned, that you cannot get away from what the numbers are telling you. And you look at most business owners and they have an understanding to some level of their financial numbers. They know how much money's come in, probably. They know what their profit they've made. They perhaps know how much is still to come in, and so on and so forth. So they've got an understanding of that. What they don't know 99% of the time is what their sales and marketing numbers are like. How many inquiries they got this month, how many people they're connected to on LinkedIn, how many people are visiting their website, and so on and so forth. So they just don't know their sales and marketing numbers. Now, there's an old saying in business that, business is all about numbers. Numbers are the currency of business. And there's another old saying that you cannot manage what you do not measure. And yet so many people don't measure their sales and marketing numbers. So that's my number 1 thought. You must manage your sales and marketing numbers. What are the numbers in your business? Number 2 is the fact that in every small business, there are essentially 3 departments. There's operations, doing the work. There's finance, managing the money. And there's marketing and sales, really, sales and marketing, selling the stuff. Now, here lies the problem. And the problem is that most small business owners are good at doing the work operationally. So I'm a landscape gardener. I love landscape gardening. I've been doing it for the last 25 years. And I run a business doing landscape gardening. Now, I know very little about finance, and I know even less about sales and marketing. So I've been going for 25 years, just about keeping my head above water without ever really fulfilling my dreams that I had when I started my business. Here lies the problem. This is the problem. This is one of the reasons why 80% of small businesses go bust within 5 years. And that's a criminal statistic. It's one that I hate. 80%, and they go bust having, lost their house or, their family. You look at the divorce rate and so on and so forth, So, that really is a big one. So, if you're going to run a business, if you're thinking of starting a business, make sure that you've got skills operationally. You've got to be good at doing the work. You've got good skills at managing and understanding the money. And you've got, really good skills. If you're going to really develop your business and grow your business, you've got to become outstandingly good at selling and marketing what you do. So, that's number 2. Number three is actually that often it's not that people are doing the wrong marketing; they're doing the right marketing, but in the wrong way. And what they do is they just like hop from one thing to another. Let me give you a similar example. It's like, if I decide I want to be, I don't know, a professional footballer. And I think, right, okay, I'm 10 years old, I'm going to practice, I'm going to be a professional footballer. 6 weeks later, I've not really made that much progress. So I think, do you know what, football, not for me. I'm going to try tennis. So I take up tennis, I play that for 8 weeks. At the end of that, I think, well, do you know what, I'm still not Wimbledon champion. So let's go and play rugby. Let's see if I can get good at that. So I perhaps play that for another 8 weeks and decide that's no good either. So I'll go and do something else. And that's how people behave, in my experience, with marketing. They say to me things like, well, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't really do very much. And I don't really understand it anyway. And so we tried Google pay-per-click advertising. I did that for a couple of weeks. I got a £50 voucher and spent that. Didn't win any business, so I didn't do any more of that either. I've tried exhibitions. We did this little local one. It cost us 250 quid and we didn't really get anywhere, so I haven't done that anymore. And so now we just rely on referral and doing a bit of networking. And again, here lies the problem. You're not doing it well enough and you're not doing it often enough. I had a client the other day said, well, we do email marketing, Steve. We send out a quarterly newsletter. A quarterly newsletter ain't going to build a relationship. It's like me, I don't know, if I was a single man, meeting a young lady and having a lovely night with her. And she said, look, I'd like to see you again. I said, yeah, I'd love to see you. I tell you what, I'll send you an email in 3 months. That ain't going to do it. That ain't going to, all right, it's a bit of a different relationship potentially that I'm after. But, the point being, we need to keep in touch on a regular basis if we're going to build any form of relationship at all. Spending time on the wrong thing, I think that's such a big thing. Whether that's doing the little work of the business, the admin stuff, sending out an invoice, following up on a question, doing the little stuff instead of doing the big stuff that you're supposed to be doing as a business owner. And it's very difficult to do, to spend your time working at the level you should be when you're a one-man business. You've got to do the cleaning, you got to do the dusting, you got to, you name it, And but you've got to spend time doing the right stuff. And the other mistake along the same lines is businesses who spend all their time, or business owners who spend all their time working in the business, doing the work. So if I was a landscape gardener, spend all my time doing landscape gardening. All I've got there is a job. That's not really a business at all. In fact, I'd be better off if I didn't know how to do landscape gardening, so that I had to pay somebody to do that work, so that I had the time to build my business. Does that make sense? So that's number 4, spending time doing the wrong work. Number 5 is a lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, again, specifically around sales and marketing. If you're good, I'm assuming that you're good at doing what you do, because if you're not, then that's going to catch you out as well. But if you're good at doing what you're doing and you are not good at finance, I was talking to an accountancy friend of mine recently who said that the average typical business owner spends less than 3 minutes reading their end of year accounts, which only actually tell them how they did potentially 18 months ago or how they did last year. So there's very little value in them, but they spend very little time reading them. And actually, in actual fact, they don't even understand the numbers in their accounts. They can't read a balance sheet. They don't know how to do an effective cash flow analysis. So all that side of things they don't know. Then when it comes to on the marketing side, their knowledge is even less. They don't understand LinkedIn. They don't know how to do Facebook advertising. They know nothing about Google AdWords. They've never even heard of geofencing or buyer behavior or list retargeting or retargeting. These are new marketing concepts. I've never even heard of them. But even some of the old ones, they say to me things like, well, we've got a website, Steve, but we don't really win any business from it. It's just a brochure site. What a load of rubbish that is. Why is it just a brochure site? Why, having spent, hundreds or potentially thousands of pounds developing a website, wouldn't you want to focus on getting traffic to it and making sure the site converted traffic into leads? I don't get it, but this is some of the mistakes that I've seen over many, many years. Number 6 is what I call the one thing. The one thing is focusing on, surprise, surprise, one thing. And, I see businesses who tell me, well, we're doing, we exhibit, we got a website, we do email marketing, we do a lot of social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, WhatsApp, whatever, Instagram, we're doing all this stuff. And they're what I call average at all of it. And do you know what rewards you get for being average? You may think it's average rewards. It's not. You get pain for being average. If you're average in your marketing, you're not going to get average results. Most businesses' results in marketing are really poor. I mentioned a few minutes ago, 8 out of 10 businesses that start this year will have ceased trading inside 5 years. Now that is pain. So average equals pain, not average. Doesn't even equal poor. It equals pain. So, you need to focus on one thing. So what's that one thing that you need to focus on? Well, from a sales and marketing perspective, it's whatever it is for you. So what I suggest you do is maybe go and have a look at everything that you're doing in terms of your marketing right now. Then pick the one thing that if you did it really, really well, you could make a significant amount of money. So there's huge potential. Potentially you're either doing it really badly and you want to really crank it up, or it's something that's working well, but you just need to invest more time, effort, and money into it in order to take it to the next level. Does that make sense? And then when you've got it to that level and, you put £1 into this machine and it gives you £10 back, how often do you want to do that? All day, every day. I put £1 million a day into my marketing budget if it got me £10 million back. And that's the attitude that you need to adopt and adapt to each and every element. Because once you've sorted this one thing out, the next step is what's the next one thing? And then what's the one thing after that? So in other words, instead of trying to, win 10 battles, you're just going to focus on one thing, on one battle, try and win that, then go on and try and win the next one. I'm hallucinating that you agree with me and think this is really common sense, but it's certainly not common practice. And the last one, and in a way, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, if you look over my shoulder there, you'll see a sign that says, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And they also buy from companies that they know, like, and trust. And they also buy products and services that they know, like, and trust. The question is, does your marketing, does your business, do your products, and do you really have that as a central core to your marketing? Is it all about getting people to know, like, and trust you? Because if it isn't, I had a message today from someone on email saying he wanted wanted me to respond to his email because he wanted to talk to me about how we could work together. I didn't even know him. Didn't even have any clue what this person was. He was trying to sell me on meeting somebody, spending whatever, an hour of my time, and he didn't even bother to tell me what it was about. Why would I do that? So until and unless he's got me to a level where I feel confident because I've listened to him perhaps on video, or I've read some of his information, his reports, or I've connected to him on LinkedIn and we've communicated. We've taken the process of building that relationship, and that's what you've got to do. So I could go on, and there's a load more things I've learned, obviously, in 25 years and quarter of a century of doing this, but they were my top 7. They were the 7 that really came to my mind straight away in terms of growing my business and really helping people to grow their business. So I hope you've taken that on board. And if you want to know more from me, I'm still around. I'm going to be around for hopefully a good few years yet. And if you would like some help, I'd love to help you. I'd love to be working with you, helping you to grow your business. I have, without any exaggeration here, I've helped businesses to make millions upon millions upon millions of extra unforeseen income that they didn't realize was there sitting in their business. And I've helped them do that with a minimal budget through testing and trialing things, understanding the numbers, making sure they're getting the best ROI, return on investment, out of each and every element of their marketing. And I've worked in thousands of businesses in hundreds of industries, and I've honestly, literally helped them make millions. Now, not all of them. Some of them have done things like come to my workshops, gone away and done nothing. Guess how much they've made? Nothing. They've come along and wasted a day, learned some new stuff and not implemented. So I'm the implementation guy. If you come and work with me, whether that's through my training, through my advice, or through our done for you service, it's all about getting it done. And if that's you, it's certainly me. We should talk. If you want a conversation, go to my website, which is www.stevemills.co. Set up a meeting. There's a button on there. You'll see at the top for a results meeting. Set up a meeting and we can talk further. Or if you want to, come along to my webinar. Again, there's a button on my website. And I can talk to you a bit more about what I do and how it might be of value to you. So that's about it. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I hope it's been of value to you. That website again, www.stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening.